Part 2. Azure Moon.
Le prince irresponsable. Les chapitres sont plus courts? Y a pas de mois comme ça? Non, me dites rien bien sûr, mais
Prince Dimitri and the remnants of the royal army join with the remaining knights of Seros to form a revitalized kingdom army. Using Garreg Mach as their base of operations, they rise to action against the Empire.
You? So you were alive after all.
Professor, it is
ah bah
so
n'a
good
pas
to
bougé
see you
elle.
again. My brother
Ok
and I
bon,
were
l'ordre
worried
ne
about
bouge
you.
pas. Ok.
Guess you lucked out.
Bon après ils sont adultes.
We've been
C'est
looking
bien fait les
everywhere for
adultes?
you, but
Non, la...
I
non.
see Lady Rhea isn't with you. Damn.
Flane aurait dû
told us
changer aussi.
We are at your disposal.
Does my heart well to see that all of you are safe. Now that we have all gathered, let's discuss our next course of action.
Les autres qui changent pas, c'est logique, ils étaient déjà adultes. Mais
To overthrow the Empire and to rescue Rhea. I have no objection to joining forces with you. After all, our interests are aligned.
Nothing could be more reassuring than securing the cooperation of the Knights of Seros.
combattons ensemble.
The Archbishop entrusted all
Pixerne,
of our affairs to
Dimitri.
you. From now on, I shall comply with your wishes.
We'll make Garreg Mach our base and prepare to make our stand against the Empire. There is a fair amount of damage, but we will at least have shelter from the wind and rain.
Surely those Imperial jerks have this place staked out, right? It's a highly strategic location.
While it may be a strategic location, it's too far from the front lines to be worthy of notice at the moment. This area is inconvenient as far as transport time is concerned, so it's of little importance to their war effort.
Even so, nothing slips past the Emperor. It is safe to assume she at least has this place under surveillance.
Professor, what do you think about making this place our base?
Elles sont toutes légales, profitez. Aucune objection, on reste.
Fortunately, there are still villages and hamlets nearby, and though I wouldn't call them abundant, we have war funds as well. What do you think, Your Highness?
Do as you please.
Hey, don't act like this doesn't concern you. We finally are reunited after all this time. We've got to work together.
She's right. In fact, why don't we all join forces and clean this place up a bit?
Oh yeah, that's a great idea. And it'll give us time to reminisce about all the good old days at the academy. I can't
Elle a
wait.
des petites vibes
How carefree.
toujours positives, mais bon voilà, il est là quoi, il va casser l'ambiance maintenant.
May sound trivial, but well, I think it's a good idea.
I understand feeling impatient, Your Highness, but patience is key at a time like this. If we fix up our base, it will improve morale, which will be sorely
Morale.
needed as we...
Fools.
Tâchons de nous calmer. Alors déjà vous allez vous calmer. Bon. Dans
Stay out of this.
Ah.
Please, calm yourself, Your Highness. We are not your enemies.
My enemies say the same.
What happened to him? It's like he's a completely different person.
Oh toi tu vas pas faire le faux cul hein.
So bad for him. Would it help if I brewed him a nice pot of tea?
I cannot claim to understand how he feels. However,
Ah il va pas faire son faux
the
cul
way
lui
he's
hein.
behaving, it's as though he's being haunted by some unseen force.
Bah. Il avait des petits Ouais.
As am I.
Messieurs, préparez-vous.
Oh, hi, Professor.
Ah.
Do you remember what we talked about before? About doing my best to
Ah bah non, je me rappelle plus, c'était chapitre 5. Désolé hein.
Busy recently, and despite my best efforts, I've been trying way too hard. I was busy all day yesterday with training and work. I just couldn't help myself. That's why I decided to take a day off today. It's just, now that I have a day off, I don't know what to do with myself. Please, you have to help me. What should I do?
Elle est pipou. rien. Moi, je pense, je vais dire ça.
I tried that. I couldn't calm down enough to fall asleep. I'm sorry, but I don't think I'm cut out for not doing my best.
Moi aussi.
Oh! You're a professor. You must know some secret technique for deep relaxation, right? If you do,
Ah bon?
please
C'est quoi,
teach
c'est quoi le
me.
rapport
I'm
entre les deux?
begging you. I'm at my wit's end.
Bon, elle aime bien manger.
Got it. I'll try that right now.
Le thé? Non, elle aime bien les gâteaux, elle aime bien manger.
This candy is so sweet and delicious, and it goes so well with piping hot tea. Ooh, and speaking of the tea, your brewing skills are incredible. I'd love to be able to make such nice tea, but... Oh, Professor, will you teach me how to brew tea like this? I'll do my best to learn, and then I'll make delicious tea for you as thanks.
Elle me met des bonnes vibes. Ça allait encore faire des efforts.
Oh, sorry. Back to my old tricks, it seems. Oh, why is it so difficult to not do my best?
Non, j'aime bien sa vibe
Try to
positive.
not try, but it just doesn't work. Professor?
Oh, j'ai tellement de A support
You're
à faire.
right. Doing nothing is just not my style. To be myself, I've got to do my best every day. Okay. Then you really must teach me how to make
Vraiment
such
rien,
delicious tea.
J'y à coup,
You
hein.
will, won't you? Please.
J'y à coup, hein.
Oh, and also, well, thank you. You've listened to me and helped me face my troubles. Now I feel like I can talk to you about anything. Honestly, I wish we could go on drinking tea like this forever.
Ah. Oh. Déjà, si vite. Allons-y.
Dear Goddess, I ask for guidance.
Oh, son portrait.
Professor, you're always watching over me, aren't you?
Bien sûr.
I've spent my entire life avoiding people. Speaking to others was so difficult for me, so I made a point to always be alone. Animals and the goddess were the only ones I could really open up to. Do you remember the time you asked what it was I prayed for?
Ouais. I guess, hein. Moi, je me rappelle pas. Hein.
But that wasn't the case.
Ah.
Back then, I felt that my life served no purpose, and that I was nothing more than a burden. In truth, I was begging the goddess to take me to her. That was my daily prayer. But now I fear the idea of dying and being left alone. I have friends who accept me for who I am now, in spite of my crest. And I have you watching over me. I finally learned to accept the kindness and warmth of others. It's because of you, Professor. Because of you, I've decided to live.
Regardez-la.
I'm sorry to have worried you, but I'm all right now. Even if I'm separated from you or any of my friends, the memories I've made here will give me the strength to continue on.
Oh, je suis choqué. Je me foutais de sa gueule. Je suis désolé. Comment ça, ensemble?
Oh, I'm sure I'll have the strength to move forward if we're together.
Apologies for bothering you so late. I just really wanted to speak with you.
Bah oui, attends, je suis gentil, moi je suis gentil.
Thank you. You see, I've been feeling conflicted about my future. It may seem petty to worry about such things in the middle of a war like this.
Oui, on s'en fout, balance. Racontez-moi quand même.
This isn't something I open up about with many people. Feeling such a sense of inner turmoil while a war rages on, and others are fighting with all they have.
C'est pas grave.
Well, it feels a little selfish. The truth is, I've wanted to be a knight ever since I was a small child.
Et tu ne l'es pas?
Not just any knight, like one you might find serving within the castle guard, but a true knight, one serving a master. However, my father has always had different plans for me. He wants me to marry for the benefit of the Galatea family. Defying my father feels wrong. I've seen how he's struggled over the years. His burden has always been far greater than any I've had to bear myself.
Oh les gars, je viens de me rendre compte d'un truc.
Extravagant meals. He subsisted on meager portions and watered-down soups. He never once complained, even though he must have been starving. Knowing his sacrifices, I've never been able to tell him of my dream of becoming a knight. Now that this war has begun, my father has allowed me to fight for my homeland. But even if I do become a knight, I feel an unease deep within me. I fear I will never escape this guilt I carry, that I have shunned my duty as a noble. To follow both my dream and my duty? I had never considered that as an option. Perhaps there is a way. Even with the academy days long behind us, you're still a professor through and through. Always listening to others' troubles and offering up your wisdom. I really am grateful for all that you do for us,
Du coup, c'est pas
Professor.
du tutorat que je
I
fais.
hope you'll always be here as a guide to everyone. I know I myself would appreciate that deeply.
C'est très grave.
Do you have a moment, Professor? I need to speak with you.
Mais parle-moi.
Thank you so much. This is what I wanted to address. This letter from my adoptive father just arrived.
Eh ben. Quoi, faut te marier aussi?
Oh, have I not mentioned him? He's the reason I first came to the Officers' Academy. He's also the one who dragged me from the church where I was living, just so he could use my crest. My crest does not yet belong to a house, so he plans to use it as leverage to marry into the nobility. He's a very greedy man who was a roving merchant before adopting me, but now he's in the capital. This letter says that he's finally arranged to marry me off to a wealthy noble.
À l'époque, quand t'étais une femme, tu savais
I
juste à
know
te
he's
faire
just
marier.
thinking of himself, but can't he see
Quelle
that
superbe
this
leçon
isn't
de
a
vie.
priority when we're at war?
Parlons rationnellement.
I suppose it's possible. He may be worried about carrying on his bloodline, but... I don't know what to do about this proposal.
Bah, posons les bonnes questions.
I can't see any way around it, so I fear that I must. I just don't want to let go of the life that I've made for myself. I know it's not what my heart wants, but I don't have the strength to say no.
Que désire votre cœur?
I believe I've mentioned this before, but I want to work in service of the church. Well, I suppose it doesn't necessarily have to be the church, but I want to help those in need. If I were to marry a noble, I think it would be difficult to realize that dream. It's just... I've always allowed myself to follow the whims of those above me.
Tiens, tiens,
I convinced
tiens.
myself that everything in life was at the will of the goddess. I was blind to reality. I believed it was her will to both pull me from the church and guide me to the Officers' Academy. The decision to enter this war was the first time I acted of my own free will. My adoptive father opposed this decision, but I somehow managed to convince him. Still, I couldn't free myself of him completely. This letter is proof of that. It's not that I'm scared of him, but there is something that worries me. I knew you'd understand, Professor. I've sat down to write a reply several
J'ai un peu plus de mal avec son design.
but I can't muster up the courage or the words. I was hoping you could provide me with the encouragement I need. If I don't,
Dans ce support, il y a des
you'll
bails
go ahead with
oméga
the
sombres. Ah
arrangement.
ouais.
I suppose I must aim toward cutting him out of my life completely. Okay. I think that may have been just the push I was looking for. I'll tell him the truth. That I found a life worth pursuing.
Que se passe-t-il avec les supports? Bah là, j'ai fait tous.
Maybe I should tell him I've fallen for someone else. Why, it's you, Professor. Isn't that obvious? I'm just teasing. Now I'm off to write this letter and stand my ground.
Ça commence à être chaud par contre avec les meufs là. On enchaîne.
Professor, please do not be concerned. I just did too much overworking and lost my strength. Yes.
Tu m'as carry.
I have no problems. Except
Regarde là.
for giving you worry. I have sorrow. I am sorry to be fainting at a time like this. Even though I was not asking for your care and attention, you gave it willingly.
Préserve.
Will you have a listen to me? There is something that I must be saying. I am thinking you already have knowledge of why I came to Fodlan. Not for studying, but as a hostage for the Empire. So that Bridget would not be rebelling anymore. It feels like a knife against my throat. That I am making my grandfather obey the Empire. If I were running away from the Empire, then Bridget would be defeated. I am not having any options. To be living, I must be fighting to win. For Bridget to be living, the Empire needs to be crushed.
Ah bah, tu vas bien t'entendre avec Dimitri.
That is what my people are wanting from me. And what my grandfather, the king of Bridget, is wanting. My want.
Quand on cette musique. Bah là j'en vois des supports pour l'instant.
The wants of my people are something I have power to achieve. Their wants are my own.
Il y a quelque chose.
What I really want. I have understanding. Wait.
I have understanding.
No, I actually do not have understanding. Yet. What I am understanding is that there is something I am not understanding. When I know what my true want is, I give you my promise that I will be telling you first.
Ça devait être insupportable à doubler par contre, hein. Bah go, hein.
Thanks for your help out there. Battles tend to go smoother with you around.
Ça c'est un B ça, hein. J'avais pas le choix de faire autre chose qu'un B.
I can count on you doing most of the heavy lifting. It may be unwise to think this way on the battlefield, but I feel I can trust your commands without question. Not sure. I might have an idea, but never mind. I've also noticed that you've been putting me in more precarious situations lately. Almost like you know I won't question your orders.
Ouais. Bon alors on va dire ça, hein.
Huh. I'm glad you trust me to get the job done, but still, I knew you were doing it on purpose. You're in a very important position now that you're leading the charge against the Empire.
Ah, c'est pour ça que c'est pour ça que le B on pouvait pas le faire avant.
Old students still call you professor. That's no title for the commander of an army.
Mais si. J'aime bien, moi j'aime bien.
You'll always be their professor, huh? You sure are an interesting one. My people lost the war, and I was left to wander Fodlan alone. But I guess meeting you was my prize. You look confused.
GG à moi.
Did you not know any of this? I was living in my homeland of Dagda up until the Imperial Army destroyed it 10 years ago. But being a mercenary, I have no real allegiance. That's why I'm working here now. Don't worry though, I don't plan to turn on you.
Catherine non, je joue pas.
Oh, please. I scraped by. When we spar,
Putain, par
I
contre,
feel like I'm revisiting my past.
Je sais pas quoi penser du nouveau design de Félix.
It's like training with my brother.
Je sais
He
pas.
always won, always, and died before I could win a single bout.
Non, Glenn.
From the first time I held a sword, all I wanted was to surpass him. And that's what drove me to become so strong. Perhaps it's absurd to say such a thing, but I've spent all these years training for a duel with a corpse. Yes, I suppose I did. I can never again spar with my brother, not unless he climbs out of his grave. Still, I continue my endless pursuit of strength. Maybe because I have a new opponent to measure myself against.
Moi?
You, obviously. I beat you this time, but when we next cross swords, who knows what might happen. It was a close match, not a crushing victory. I know that I can do better. I will surpass you in strength, and then I'll become stronger still.
Et après?
And then, when this war is over, I won't have as many chances to swing my sword. I can hardly imagine that.
C'est que lui, quand on pourra plus se battre, qu'est-ce qu'il va faire?
Thank you for helping me find an answer to the question you asked all those years ago.
En même temps, on est avec deux mecs, donc bon, forcément.
That hurts.
Par contre, sa nouvelle coupe à Sylvain, j'ai du mal, hein.
Ah, Professor. Thanks for stopping by. It's not bad. I was even told I'd be cleared for service starting tomorrow. Besides, I got this scar fighting for you. It's almost like a medal or something. When I thought you were going to be killed for real, my reflexes kicked in. I reacted without thinking.
J'ai pas
Doesn't mean
souvenir.
I've stopped being jealous of you. But come on, I can't help but look up to you. If I'd had the guts to run away from home, I wonder if I would have cared as little about my crest as you do yours.
Un fond d'écran? Non, non, non merci, non.
No. But if I thought I could have escaped, I would have tried. I'd leave behind House Gautier, and the life of a nobleman, and anybody who knew I had a crest. Our home is to the very north of the kingdom. Just across the mountains from us is land inhabited by foreigners to Fodlan. It once belonged to Fargus, but now that the kingdom has collapsed, it's only a matter of time until fighting breaks out. Anyway, that land has been contested for centuries, and all that time, it has fallen to House Gautier to protect it. Actually, our Lance of Ruin has been doing most of the protecting.
La fameuse lance que je n'ai utilisée qu'une seule fois.
Those were dangerous times. One wrong step, and we would have lost our relic to the church. My father was afraid that the church would try to keep the lance, so he entrusted it to me. If an emergency arose, I was supposed to be called back home. I guess those very situations are why my family values crests so much. Since I bear a crest, my parents made sure I was never left wanting. My older brother didn't have one, and so when I was born, he was pushed aside. You know, he once shoved me in a well. He left me on the mountainside in the middle of winter, too.
C'est grave ça par contre.
Even as a little kid, I understood why he was like that. My mere existence stole everything from him. I have no right to complain when I am surrounded by people who would give anything to bear a crest, but do not.
C'est vrai
Now,
qu'il...
women smile at me for the same reason my parents adore me, and my brother wanted me dead. And I have to meet them all with a smile and a wink, because I have a crest.
Ouais, vraiment son emblème, c'est...
The women who just want to use me to become nobility?
Non, je pense qu'il aime bien, mais ouais, celle-là...
Though, in the end, that's just an easy answer.
Oh, le plot twist de
I
zinzin.
don't even know how I truly feel about it all. Anyway, it was pretty unreasonable of me to resent you. I'm really sorry about that. And I want to say thank you, Professor. Seriously, thank you. Before I met you, I'd gone my whole life not knowing there was another way for me to live. So, from the bottom of my heart, I'm glad
Oh,
we
le petit
met.
clin d'œil. Ça va. Oui, la bague.
Here you are.
Je me rappelle.
Oh, were you looking for me, Felix?
You were injured in the last battle. Are you okay?
Mais attends, mais depuis quand il est gentil?
Thank you for your concern.
You really are troublesome.
I'm so sorry. I didn't want to get in your way out there. I just couldn't help but worry. I was only trying to keep an eye on you.
What are you even doing on the battlefield? You endangered yourself and got hurt. Such a stupid thing to do.
Yes, of course, you're right. I have no excuses.
If you intend to carry on being such a fool, you'd best stay near me.
Are you sure? I'd hate to get in your way again.
You can,
Hmm?
you can keep thinking of me as your little brother. That'd be better than going through this again.
But I thought you didn't like that. Didn't you say you were fed up with it?
I am fed up with it. I've already spent years filling in for someone who's dead. My older brother inspired love and respect. He was a great knight. He died. Since his death, his memory has followed me around like a shadow.
Oh, I didn't know you had a brother too.
I
Comment
don't
ça,
let
vous
my
aussi, elle a un
personal
frère
feelings
aussi?
distract me on the battlefield. Still, do I really remind you of him?
Well, you don't look like him, but something about you feels so familiar. It just makes me want to protect you.
Ah, il y a des
That's
choses comme
not
ça.
to say that you're incapable or unreliable or anything like that. In
Elle
fact,
préchote
it's quite the
maintenant.
opposite. You're the one who just came to check on me.
You need to pay attention to your surroundings. You're reckless. Lives are at stake, including mine when I have to run over and save your skin.
Yes, I'll try to be more careful. Thank you for being so kind.
Ah, j'ai l'impression que la puberté lui a fait du bien, Félix.
Whatever. Sylvain, eat these.
What are these, Felix? Oh, hey, is this candy?
A girl in town gave them to me, but I don't want them.
Right. You don't like sweet stuff.
Ah,
Thanks.
il me
I'll
rappelle
eat them
quelqu'un.
later. So, what do you need? Want me to help you get closer to a girl? Just point her out.
You're incorrigible. No, I wanted to thank you for your help in battle. If you hadn't spotted that enemy ambush, I would have been killed.
Nah, I didn't do anything special. Friends help each other out, especially on the battlefield. Just a little give and take, you know?
You never change.
Nope. I try to stay on an even keel.
You're always...
Always what?
nothing.
Come on. If you've got something on your mind, then say it.
Maybe I'll tell you later, maybe I won't.
Fair enough. I'll be having something to eat while you're deciding whatever it is you're deciding. Actually, come with me. My treat. If you do want to talk,
Ok.
then I'm right there.
Eux, ils sont
Okay,
potes.
just this once.
Et il y a encore un support avec. Il y a 2 A. Ça me met bien.
Food, possible conversation, and when we're done, we can find some girls. It was a joke! Felix, I was joking. Come on, let's just go eat.
Ça avance, ça avance.
Training on your own? You really do work hard.
I hate to break it to you, Sylvain, but there's nobody here for you to flirt with. So there's not much reason to hang around.
You're here, aren't you?
How ridiculous. Almost as ridiculous as your face.
You'd really say something like that to a handsome guy like me? I'm crushed. Joking aside, may I join you? I only came out here so I could train too.
Sure, just don't get in my way.
I've been thinking about it, and I really depend on you. Maybe that's weird since I'm older than you, but still.
Hitting on me? Again? Have some dignity, would you?
No,
Ah oui.
I'm being honest. I thought you'd listen.
Ah ouais.
Hey, I'd like it if you didn't get too far away from me on the battlefield, okay?
Ça tombe bien, c'est exactement ce qui se passe.
I'll stay as long as I can. You're useless without me, after all.
What? No, I'm saying if there's one thing I can do on the battlefield, it's keep you safe.
Et c'est vrai.
Whatever
Fais pas
helps you
genre.
feel better. Stay and protect me then. I couldn't bear it if you went off and died on me while I wasn't around.
I'm pretty sure that's my line.
It's getting late. We'd better head out.
You're right. I'm exhausted anyway.
You haven't been practicing enough. All that time you waste chasing after women would be better spent training. I'll train with you anytime, so just... What's that strange look for?
I just... Oh, well... You're going to think I'm being a jerk or hitting on you or whatever. When we're side by side like this, training, I feel... I don't know.
I know what you mean. It's probably because we've been friends for so
Ah,
long.
bah force à toi, bon ref.
That must be it.
Le A-word a été lâché.
Friends forever?
Absolutely. No matter what
Le
happens,
A... Ah non,
we'll always
voilà,
be
c'est
friends,
foutu.
Sylvain.
Voilà, c'est... Non, la F-zone.
Annie, do you have a moment?
Is this about what happened when we were shopping? If so, it's fine. Don't worry about
Je
it.
me rappelle du shopping.
Not so fast. I haven't properly apologized yet. So, I'm sorry. I got scared.
C'est un peu bizarre quand même qu'ils font référence à leurs anciens supports. Alors que c'était il y a genre 5 ans.
Mercy.
You would have just run away if you were on your own, wouldn't you? Instead, you acted defensively because I was there. I dragged you down.
Mercy, you're upsetting me. How dare you say that you dragged me down? You know why I was acting so recklessly? Because I wanted to protect my best friend in the whole world.
Annie.
Do you remember when we first enrolled at the academy? It seemed like everyone was leagues ahead of us and so far out of reach. I felt completely hopeless. But because you were there,
Regarde là, elle est
there was hope. So, don't say stupid things about how you dragged me down or how you don't deserve things.
Thank you for saying that. And again, I'm sorry. You're just so important to me. I know I could never find another friend like you. You've stayed by my side through thick and thin. I wouldn't be able to forgive myself if anything happened to you because of me.
Mercy, can we be friends again?
Of course, Annie. Friends forever.
C'est trop bibou. Trop
Good.
bibou.
I don't know what I would have done if we hadn't found a way to make up.
I'm sorry. I should have said something sooner.
No, I'm the one who should have stopped being so stubborn and said something. You know, now that everything's as it should be, I'm suddenly starving.
That's just like you. Come, let's go for tea.
Ooh, let's! And we should have some Mercy-baked sweets on the side. I think I love you more than just about anything in the world.
You do? Oh, Annie, you're too sweet.
Not as sweet as your baking. I love your baking more than anything in the world too, other than you.
C'est un peu trop love. Là, oh là, c'est très.
So happy to have you back.
Girly. Barbie à la plage, bah ouais.
Can I be having your time? There is a thought that is giving me great concern.
Let's hear it, Petra.
If Dagda is ever invading Fodlan again, what will you be doing?
I'd join the army of Dagda. I'd lay waste to Fodlan and return to my homeland.
If that is the truth, then I am having one
Je
more
pose une autre
question for
question.
you. If that was happening, and all of us were fighting for Fodlan, would you be fighting us too?
Of course. You expect me to die for you?
Ah.
You should be prepared to do the same. Your homeland would likely join Dagda.
So, that is your truth.
Maybe. If you'd asked me 5 years ago. I've been a mercenary since childhood. Always fighting for a bounty.
Et c'est nous salut Yoshiro bien sûr, hein. Je t'ai pas dit bonjour parce que j'étais occupé mais...
It's why I became
Enfin
a sniper.
sur le machin, sur le
Easier
support.
to dispose of anyone with a reward on their head. It's also why I joined the Knights of Saros. I owed them a debt, But that's all changed.
You are not fighting for money now?
That's right. When I see everyone fighting for Fodlan, I feel inclined to help. I won't die for the cause, but I will protect everyone. If the army of Dagda engaged you, I'd fight at your side.
Hearing that is giving... It gives me great joy. Until the war is finished, let us fight together.
Ok, c'est pour ça qu'elles ont un support.
That battle was a decent challenge, but when push came to shove, they didn't have a chance. Before long, all of the church's enemies will have been destroyed.
You must really love worshipping the church. Or is it just Rhea?
Lady Rhea. You're the only one in the Knights who doesn't address her with the proper respect. It's not just that I worship Lady Rhea. I respect her, admire her, revere her.
I don't get the Seros religion. Or Rhea.
Shamir, if you were anyone else, I would cut you down for saying that.
Oh.
She saved your life.
She did, and that's why I fight for her. Doesn't mean I worship her.
You never change. You're so stubborn.
You're the stubborn one. When we're on missions related to Rhea, it's like you're wearing blinders. Wanting to help her is admirable, but you'll be of no use if you get yourself killed.
I don't plan on getting killed.
Pourquoi ça se débloque
And it's not
maintenant?
that I'm wearing blinders. I'm just focused. I've devoted my heart to Lady Rhea. She's the reason I wield my sword.
As long as you don't get killed or cause me any trouble, I don't really care.
So my death would cause you trouble?
That's not what I meant.
Let's give it a rest. There's no point in arguing.
Fine, but I want you to know something. It's not easy to put your life in the hands of someone who doesn't share your beliefs.
I understand. I think we can both agree on that.
Tenez-vous dans l'histoire juste
there,
après
Ash.
tel skip là.
Here to do some reading as well, I take it? Ash?
Juste après.
Ingrid, you gave me a start. How long have you been standing there?
Not too long. Apologies for startling you. Must be a great book for you to be so deeply engrossed in it. What has you so captivated?
Oh, it's quite an old book. One of the really old legends of Fargus.
Aha! It must be the Sword of Kaifon then, yes?
Oh, so you know it.
Oh yes. I know it quite well. I read it often as a child. In fact, I read it so much that my personal copy fell apart. I brought it everywhere with me. I adore that book. The tale of the warrior Kaifon, whose devotion and loyalty enabled his best friend Luke to become king.
C'est marrant parce qu'on a fait que des A. Avec les séances, non, vraiment pas.
Indeed.
Mais ouais, genre, j'ai comment dire? J'ai fait plein de supports A, bien time skip, etc. Là c'est vraiment support C. Tu peux le faire au chapitre 2. Bon.
Kaifon's blade hummed like the wind, slashing the enemy's throat. In mere moments, their forces lay vanquished, decimated by his mighty blows. I can recite the entirety of it if you like. I never grow weary of that tale, the pinnacle of knighthood.
Ouais, les vraies belles commencent, c'est ça.
I know just what you mean. I never get tired of it. Some people laugh at me for reading these old tales, but I'll never outgrow them. I'm glad to find
Moi, j'ai
someone
pas
who
trop envie de
shares
jouer
my
avec les
enthusiasm.
profs en général.
I'm glad of it as well. Tell me, what other books do you enjoy, Ash?
Well, the first one I ever read was Lug and the Maiden of Wind.
You have fantastic taste. That story is another favorite. The final chapter makes me tear up every time.
I know. When I first read it, I just couldn't get that ending out of my head.
It seems we have much in common. I look forward
Cette
to
tenue est
chatting
incroyable
again
par contre,
sometime.
vraiment.
I'd love
J'aime
to.
trop son vert.
Yes, let's.
I was trying to catch you off guard, but you managed to block it. Not too shabby, Professor.
c'était dangereux.
Oh, come on. Look at the blade I threw. It's just a wooden training sword. At worst, you could have gotten a bruise or perhaps a splinter. Let's agree it was funny and move on.
J'aurais pu me faire très mal.
Aw, poor thing. Aren't you used to getting hurt? You've been in your fair share of battles. Besides, I knew you'd dodge in time. I told you before that I was going to observe you. Since then, I've been watching you. I know what you're capable of. I took steps to make myself invisible, so I could observe you without being detected. I hardly let you out of my sight. After extensive research, I've concluded that you really are first-rate. Your sword skills are impeccable, you're a gifted educator, you clearly love working with the students. Someone with all of your exceptional qualities should not exist, but you are. At first, I thought Gerald was the reason for Lady Rhea's interest in you. But no, Lady Rhea knew exactly what she was doing when she singled you out.
Oh la simp.
Unfortunately, I can't hope to emulate you, let alone wield the sword of the Creator. So my plan of imitating you for Lady Rhea's attention has come to nothing. I didn't say that. When we rescue Lady Rhea, I'll provide her a full report of your activities. Hopefully, then I'll be in her good graces. Oh, and don't think you can avoid being watched. I won't let you out of my sight.
Flame, there you are. I've been looking everywhere for you.
Tu fais 2 chapitres par live. Ouais, et il est possible que d'ailleurs on fasse celui-ci, on s'arrête là sur un live plus court. Mais parce qu'en fait demain, je dois me réveiller archi tôt, j'ai un rendez-vous et tout, donc vu que bah là c'est déjà le 2e chapitre du coup, hein, vu que le premier bah, ça a fait qu'une heure, c'était que du scénario, c'est normal.
This world is full of peril. You must be more vigilant. Please understand.
Alors, je crois, hein.
I allowed you to enroll here only because I thought it best for your safety.
I am very much aware of that.
Je crois, hein.
You wanted to speak to me of something?
Yes, my dear little sister. You are kind beyond all measure, and you are the very picture of innocence. But precisely because of these very
non, Awakening.
interactions with the others.
Oh, il est pas sur la liste, hein.
The youths of our army are particularly eccentric. As your brother, it is my duty to help you with any concerns you may have.
Ah, bof, hein, sinon, bof.
But all the students and professors have treated me exceptionally well.
Even so, there must be at least some worry. Please, you need not conceal anything from me.
You worry far too much. There is truly nothing to share, and nothing for you to fret over.
Non, je pense pas, hein.
Are you absolutely sure? The idea of you suffering in silence is unbearable to me.
Enough! I made it clear that nothing is wrong. I stand by my word. Well, there is one concern that comes to mind.
What is it? Tell me. I will help however I can.
There is a certain somebody who seems determined to get in the way of my friendships with my classmates.
What? That's horrible. Fear not. I will handle this scoundrel for you. Just tell me his name.
It is you, brother. Now then, I must be on my way.
Qu'il fasse les jeux avec tous les Fire Emblem. Ah, des compilations, tu veux dire.
What was Flame getting at just now? Let's see, I was speaking to her. I asked her to share her concerns, and... was there something else? No matter. Fear not, Flame. Your brother will protect you from all harm.
Mais il est bizarre, Nous en plus de c'est fumé.
Hey there, Flame. I thought I'd drop by and
J'aurais un nouveau marchand super utile.
Now, just a moment, Sylvain.
Bon, on le fera un prochain
If you
truc.
must speak with me, I implore you to do so from where you stand. My apologies if this comes across as rude, but please do
Ah oui,
not come
d'accord.
any closer to me.
Excuse me?
I am sorry. My brother has explicitly warned me not to go near you.
Ouais.
Said have said that? I bet he also told you any woman who comes too close to me is, how does he say it? Doomed to misfortune?
He used those very words. Is it true then?
Come on. He's just messing with you, obviously.
Of course I would prefer to believe that, but one can never know for certain. Particularly when similar stories are constantly in circulation about you. I have heard that men and women alike have been seduced by your nefarious ways.
Vos
I hate to suggest my
perfidies.
talents are being oversold, but
I have heard that you toy with people's emotions, like a cat toys with its prey.
Do I really look like such a villain to you?
Well, perhaps not. You do not strike me as much of a charmer.
When you put it like that, I feel like I should defend... Yeah, forget it. Let's get to the actual point.
Did I not tell you, Sylvain? Stay away from me.
It's kind of awkward talking from so far away. Can I please step just a little?
Allez, Covid, ma gueule.
Truly, there are countless terrible stories of your behavior. I've heard that you panic when there aren't women around to flirt with, that you've gone as far as flirting with horses and even chickens.
Oh, come on. Who would even... You should know that your brother has an overactive imagination.
I would like to believe that you are a sincere and reputable person, Sylvain. But there is no smoke without fire. Or so the saying goes.
I may not be the most respectable fellow you'll ever meet, but...
Until I can be certain, please refrain from coming too close to me.
Ah oui.
Now, if you will excuse me,
Ouais, hein.
I must be on my way.
Lui, c'est pas Jimmy, hein.
Come back! And she's gone. All I was trying to do was deliver a message. Flane, hey! The professor said we need to come to the cathedral! I'll run really far ahead so you don't have to walk near me! There, I tried telling her. The professor can't be mad about that.
It has been a while since we last spoke, Professor. Spare me a moment again, will you not?
Bien sûr. Merde. J'ai appuyé sur B en mode
You
tu
recall
avoir
how
plus de
you
choses, avoir des
helped me
choses
and allowed me
utiles.
to join your class, yes? I have learned a great many things since then.
Genre des carottes, j'aimerais bien.
I have truly grown so much. This personal growth is due in large part to you. And I wish to express my gratitude, sincerely. Excuse me? Are you implying that I am still naive? I will have you know that I have made many friends and am constantly learning new things. Why, when I go to the market alone, I even haggle. You must be familiar with the delicate art of haggling, in which one negotiates a lower asking price for an item. That is the type of knowledge common only to those as mature as myself. Who? Me? Have you not asked this once before? It is a bit rude to ask repeatedly,
C'est
you
vrai.
know.
Comment ça, hater de FE? Bah écoute, monsieur Perdican le badineur, j'ai jamais été un gros fan de Fire Emblem. Parce que vous m'avez pas répondu.
Is that so? Well, it
Moi, je
seems
te le
there's
dis, mon
something
âge.
common, since I do not know your age either. Come now. There is nothing to be gained from focusing so heavily on age.
Ah, là je n'ai qu'un nombre, je vois.
I think I have
Même
learned
eux
more
le
about
disent.
you. I mentioned how you possess an air of mystery.
Ouh.
I compared you to any old sea, but I have come to realize you are more like a particular sea.
Tiens, tiens,
one I've seen
tiens.
before.
Je vois d'où ils tiennent leur discours, ces gens.
She was an excellent fisher, my mother. I grew to love fish deeply because of her.
Ouais, je sais, j'ai fait ton annexe.
Well, you see, fish are... Oh, wait. I was talking about the sea, was I not? Anyhow,
Ah, t'arrives au bon moment
I sense
là.
that, like the sea, your depths are seemingly impenetrable.
Cette fleur donne cette capacité, si t'en mets...
Despite your unknowable depths,
Si tu mets 5
there
fleurs,
is
t'auras plus d'argent,
something
de l'argent, t'auras encore plus de chance.
familiar about you. It's as if we have met
Ok, ok, ok.
somewhere.
De toute façon, les
Long,
fleurs,
long ago.
je m'en servais quand fallait donner des cadeaux. Maintenant, je m'en sers plus.
No, I do not think so. It is all quite strange, really. Still, I do not think you could be a complete stranger either. Both your hair and eyes are unmistakably. Oh, apologies.
Bah oui, je suis pas
It is-
totalement débile. Ok, c'est bien, mais elle a quel âge, ça c'est vrai ça.
I mean to say that you do not feel like a stranger to me. For whatever reason, I feel deeply connected to you.
100%, on est de la même famille ou
And
une
for
connerie
this?
comme ça.
I am glad. Father! Father! Why do you pretend not to
Ah,
recognize
ça
me?
commence bien.
Annette,
I've been looking everywhere for you. Please stop treating me like a stranger. I can't bear it. Father, wait! How long will you keep avoiding me like this?
Ah, peut-être que j'avais pas envie en fait.
The right to face you or your mother.
This has nothing to do with rights. We're family. I'm your daughter.
Indeed, you are my daughter. Yet I am no father. I am only a fool who abandoned his family.
Oh, Gilbert, mon
You
ref.
think it was foolish to abandon us?
I do.
Then the least you can do is apologize. I'm fine, but Mother deserves as much.
Tu veux là,
I
non,
finished my
non, je peux
studies
pas,
at the
je
School of
peux pas.
Sorcery
Je le saurai à un
and the
moment.
Officers Academy. I have a busy and satisfying life now. But Mother, she's waited for you to return all this time, living under my uncle's roof.
I am sorry, Annette.
I already told you, don't say that to me. Apologize to Mother. Let her see your face.
That I cannot do. I know you do not understand, but it is the way of things. As for you, Annette, say the word, and I will disappear from your life forever. For now, though, I must return to my duties.
Eh ben, je le saurai. T'inquiète pas, t'inquiète pas.
How could you be so cruel?
Bah frère, je fais comme ça depuis depuis le début là. C'est grave, hein.
Even though this is my duty. In return,
écoute, découvrons ce personnage, hein.
Though I fear there may not be so many things I can help you with.
Ouais.
I would be glad to. However, I would likely learn more from you than you would from me. You made a living as a mercenary under Captain Gerald's guidance. As a comparatively new member of the Knights of Seros, I was not so familiar with his past exploits. Yet, clashing swords with him, even just a handful of times, was enough for his ability.
Ah, c'était sympa, hein. Et pourtant.
You, as one trained by him, must have those same great talents. I have devoted my life to the path of a knight. Yet I find your mercenary experience lends your blade.
Wait up!
Oh non.
Catch me if you can. Come on, this way. This way.
Oh non. Il va être triste.
Even in dark times such as
ah c'est bon, ça c'est bon. J'ai cru qu'il allait penser à sa situation.
Was I smiling? Please, forget you saw that. I do not have the right to such pleasures.
Ah, ok, d'accord. Il se flagelle un petit peu.
Indeed. For those we have lost will never be able to smile again. I am sorry. I did not mean to trouble you with such talk.
Oh, ça a l'air deep, hein.
Let us head back.
Oh, ça a l'air très deep, hein. Nous faisons les supports.
Mercedes, you're looking divine as always.
Good evening, Sylvain. Thank you for coming out to see me.
Just the two of us meeting at this time of night? You moved quicker than I thought.
I don't know what speed has to do with it, but there was something I wanted to talk to you about.
Okay. I probably should have figured that out.
I can be so forgetful at times. I neglected to mention this the other day. I meant to say that I know you've been through a lot in this life.
Huh? Me?
Your parents have placed a great deal of pressure on you as
Oui.
their heir. And it's all because you were
était son
born with
emblème
a
du coup.
crest. You've had to put up with such lofty expectations.
All of the kingdom's noble houses expect a lot from their heirs. I'm no different from any other noble guy or gal. We've all got responsibilities.
But didn't you mention that your brother envied you enough to wish you dead? I'm sure that wasn't easy.
Thinking about it, life was probably a lot harder for my brother than it ever has been for me.
Didn't you also mention that women were only interested in having your, as you say, crest baby? I'm not very interested in the particulars, but I get the feeling that you don't care very much for these women who throw themselves at you.
I'd appreciate it if maybe you kept that observation between the two of us.
Your secret's safe with me.
Ok.
I understand the pain you've had to carry.
I know you've got your share of bad memories too, but...
That's why you feel comfortable letting your guard down around me. Come now. That's enough with the sad smile.
Mercedes. Was my sad smile really that bad? Did it ruin my dashing good looks?
Not at all. You actually look more handsome to me with honesty on your face.
Aw, here come the waterworks.
Don't be ashamed of crying. I'm here to protect you. Will you protect me in return?
Oh. Jure.
I will. I promise. You know, Mercedes, you really are a special lady.
Professor, do you have a moment?
Bien sûr.
I would hear your opinion on our situation. Given our current fighting power, what sort of challenge do you expect we pose to the Empire?
Ah mais non, c'était pas Wars. Parce que du coup, je vais perdre le tutoriel la semaine prochaine. Ah, c'est chiant ça. Les chances de victoire sont faibles.
So we agree. However, in order to strengthen our forces, we...
Why would anyone put a barrel here? Oh, that really smarts. Oh, hello, Father.
Another stupendous fall.
As though you care about my well-being. Anyway, Professor, I'm heading out for a bit. I was thinking of going to visit my uncle.
Oh
to see
non.
my brother? Why is that, Annette?
I want to ask him to entrust me with the hero's relic of House Dominic. The fight from here on out is gonna be tough. I need to do whatever I can to get stronger.
Elle va avoir une petite relique
as
là?
far as I can tell, is to have another hero's relic at our disposal.
You are not wrong, yet it will not be easy. Under pressure from Cornelia, House Dominic is maintaining a pro-imperial stance. That makes us his enemy. Brother or no, he will not hand over a hero's relic to us.
Mais non.
He's not a bad person, and we'll never know unless we ask, right?
Ah bah demande-lui
Father
alors.
might be there too.
Ah sûr.
The Dominic region is, at present, enemy territory. There is no guarantee you can see them safely.
Fine, be that way. It's not like I was planning to ask for your help anyway. Professor,
Bah carré,
don't
hein.
worry about me. I'll be back soon, and with a relic no less.
Ouais, reste là, reste en là.
Annette, wait! She never listens. So frustrating. However, if she were able to retrieve the hero's relic,
Ah pour Annette, je dis oui. Hein.
our forces. Perhaps I should prepare myself for the worst. I shall travel with Annette to see my brother.
Let's go.
Professor, might I ask you to take on a task for me? It is entirely possible that we shall be captured in the Dominic region. In anticipation of that, I would ask that you wait outside of the region with an army at your command.
Je veux
I
bien.
cannot say with confidence that we will be able to bring back the hero's relic without issue. While it pains me to ask this favor of you, I must also thank you for accepting.
Uncle, I beg you. Please give me the hero's relic.
Even in this land, the Empire's eye shines bright. To hand over such a weapon to you, our enemy, is unthinkable.
We are well aware.
T'as rentré... Il y a tellement de support aussi. J'en ai 815 à débloquer.
I cannot. If it becomes known that I gave you aid, my lands will be.
Mais attends, mais je passe que sur un chapitre là. C'est le 13 là? Je suis pas au 14?
Annette, there is nothing for us here. We should go.
No. Letting you simply leave will invite accusations of collusion. I must take you as my hostages.
So, it is
Là je suis 14 là. On est d'accord hein?
Annette, Live here with me.
Ça c'est chapitre 14, on est d'accord. Le mois. Chapitre 13 c'est la retrouvaille, c'est la bataille.
You're wrong. That will never happen, Uncle.
Your mother is also here in this land. Do not dismiss my proposition so readily.
Annette, comment tu me fais ça? Tu me le fais très bien.
I have no wish to enact violence on you, Annette. Listen to me and do as I say.
I will not listen. I can't and I won't. There's somewhere I must return to. I won't give up.
Oh bon, très bien. Très très bien. Voilà.
So, this is it. I fought well in the end. I doubt Cornelia will think I cooperated with you. Take the hero's relic and go. And in return, promise to restore the kingdom.
Brother, I thank you.
And don't worry about your wife. Whatever happens, I swear I will protect her. When all of this is over, you had better return to her. Make sure victory is yours, Gustav.
You have my word.
Pourquoi il s'appelle Gilbert? Il a changé de nom? Bien sûr, Annette.
I cannot tell you how grateful we are for your assistance.
I don't know what would have happened if not for you. And thanks to you, I got this.
The magic hammer, Crusher. The hero's relic of House
Quoi?
Dominic. My brother would not surrender such a relic without a fight. I hope you understand. House Dominic is
C'est
one of
Annette
the
qui a
10
ça?
great bloodlines. Yet within the kingdom, we are mere feudal lords.
Moi j'en donnais une baguette.
With the empire growing in strength, Dominic must
Ah et donc
kneel.
les petites
Otherwise, would
qui ont
be
des grosses
suicide.
armes, c'est même dans Fire
The
Emblem.
Western lords and other rulers are in the same situation. They
Ah ouais.
all comply, albeit reluctantly.
Eh ben stylé.
If we defeat the Empire, I hope the kingdom will rise once more, under the banner of a legitimate king.
I hope so too. That's why we can't give up.
To that end, Professor, we will require your help. I hope we can continue depending on you.
Peuvent compter sur moi.
Don't worry, we won't make you do all of the hard work by yourself.
Je suis extrêmement surpris.
Speaking of, I'm gonna get straight to training.
Mais y a pas de souci, hein, elle va de la voir. Hein.
Why would someone put a dumb wooden box here?
Regardez les pilous.
And please, look after my daughter as well.
Why are you
Il n'y a
taking
pas
over my
d'opti, mais je joue
cleaning
parce que j'ai envie de les jouer comme ça.
You're wounded and you're going too slowly.
Parce que j'ai envie de les jouer
Couldn't
comme
stand to
ça.
watch.
Ma pauvre
You're still
Livinette.
fretting over me, are you? I'm fine now, really. It wasn't even serious.
I could have handled the situation alone. That enemy wasn't much of a threat.
Yes, we all know you could have. But I also didn't want to risk something unforeseen befalling you. I've been doing some thinking. I feel a bit lost. I don't know that I'm cut out to be a knight after all.
Bah,
Without fulfilling that dream,
tu ne m'as pas dit
without
ça.
being a knight, I've been asking myself where my place is in the world. And I think I found my answer. I don't want to lose anyone anymore.
Ce qui est
So I want to protect those
acceptable.
I hold dear.
That's why you were protecting me, huh? What a fool you are.
Foolish to act in line with what I value most? Were I to die, I would die knowing I followed my heart, my truest calling. I've been reading through more of that book I was telling you about. Recall the hypothetical question it posed? Do you carry out the orders or protect your hometown?
Moi, je m'en rappelle.
You've been reading that garbage again?
The book never specified that one should prioritize the commander's orders. Instead, it suggested that one should follow their heart in the matter. That's what a knight.
C'était il y a quelques années,
That's what
oui.
anyone being true to themselves should
5-6
do.
ans, voilà.
That's just the editor's opinion.
Of course, and I find value in that opinion. Glenn died following his heart, not heeding the commands of the country or even the royal family. His death pains me to this day.
C'est terrible ça par contre. Hein.
It was a tragedy. But had he survived, I think he would have suffered.
Les techniques? Non, moi j'ai des techniques encore, c'est sympa.
His example. No matter the outcome, no matter the circumstance, I believe in myself.
You know nothing.
What is it that you know then? What is it you fight for, Felix?
My own beliefs.
I see no difference from my own stance.
You don't understand.
You fight to be stronger than everyone, that you might protect those you care for, correct?
Okay, fine. You do understand. My point is, don't let this happen again. If you died, I'd be annoyed.
Annoyed, ouais.
Annoyance, then,
Oui.
I suggest you
Oh, ça m'ennuierait, ça m'enquiquinerait quoi. Ça me titillerait.
You're insufferable.
Mais avec Flane, what the fuck?
Flane, what's that you're hiding?
Oh no, my surprise is spoiled. I had brought some fruits for you to cut up in addition to the fire.
Ah oui, c'est vrai, j'avais zappé.
I thought some variation might prove amusing.
No, I'm not doing that again. I've got better uses for my sword than chopping up fruit and firewood.
I cannot imagine what could be better than chopping fruit.
Chopping up my enemies.
You say that as though you have many enemies. So you would rather chop people than firewood, is that it?
That's not how I put it, but a blade's purpose is to kill. To chop wood, use an axe. To chop food, use a knife. It's simple.
Surely it is not forbidden to use your sword for other things, like chopping fruit. Swords that cut inanimate objects are serving a much finer purpose than those that cut living beings.
What a noble sentiment. But without a blade to cut down your enemies, you cannot win.
Oui.
Those who are weak lose everything and they die.
Ah, c'est des trucs possibles post-time, pré-time skip, donc forcément il est encore un peu vénère.
But you must know that it has a purpose.
And what purpose might that be?
A purpose. Let's just leave it at that. I'm not in the mood to debate you. I'll continue to wield my sword, and if necessary, cut down my enemies.
He certainly is a stubborn one.
Je confirme. Et Catherine?
Is something troubling you, Ingrid?
Oh, Sedith. You seem to have caught me when I thought nobody was around.
Perhaps I can help, if you would like to share.
I wouldn't want to bother you with my trivialities.
I will not pry, of course. But if you keep it to yourself, no one will be able to help you.
That's true. It's
Ah, elle va reparler de sa belle-lettre.
Count Galatea. I have met him once or twice.
Well, you have likely heard that House Galatea's financial situation is precarious. Many regions of Fargus are harsh and infertile, but our lands are especially so. There were several years of fruitless harvest.
Et il voulait me marier encore. Ah, je commence à les connaître les femmes, hein. De Fire Emblem bien sûr.
I was born bearing a crest, after generations bore none. Suddenly my family hung its future on me. My father had hopes that with my crest, I'd be married into a noble family, and that House Galatea's financial troubles would be a thing of the past.
Les nobles, c'est que ça.
I see. And the other house would benefit from the addition of your crest-bearing blood. It seems to me you have suffered much for the misfortune of being born with a crest.
I beg your pardon?
I know crests are highly valued, but they are also a burden. My feelings are mixed.
You truly think so? But you're so devoted to the goddess. I'm surprised to hear you say such a thing.
Perhaps one day I will expound upon my opinion of crests in greater detail with you. For now, let it suffice to say that whether or not you bear one is secondary to your identity. You are a person, first and foremost. And you should be permitted to grow as a person, crest or not.
I agree. Thank you for listening.
If you ever wish to discuss this again, consider me available whenever you please.
C'est vrai que ce test, je l'ai un peu skip. Et je vais pas l'utiliser, mais...
Good work. Should we call it a day?
Thank you. Yes, let's. Catherine, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you something.
Let me guess. You're going to ask why you're so bad at predicting my attacks.
When I expect an attack from above, you surprise me from below. When I expect a jab, I get a sweep. You seem to anticipate my anticipation.
Jab,
It's
sweep.
probably because
Je
you're
connais
a
ça.
straightforward, honest person. You're reading my movements and trying to calculate what I'll do next.
That has always seemed the most sound strategy when engaging in combat, yes.
Right. Well, I take that anticipation and turn it against you. I use my eyes and the tilt of my sword to mislead you. Catching your opponent off guard is the trick to staying alive in combat. You've got to keep yourself alive if you want to protect Lady Rhea, right?
Your dedication to Lady Rhea's safety
partie.
is truly inspiring, Catherine.
You flatter me.
My dream is to become a knight and protect my king, no matter the cost. There is no greater purpose I
Ah,
can
tu vas
serve.
protéger ton roi,
Although
t'inquiète.
your fealty is sworn to Lady Rhea, you are the ideal knight I aspire to be.
Admire me to your heart's content, but I'm...
Catherine, I'd be honored if you would make me your squire.
My what now? Oh, you're far too straight-laced to be my squire.
However you might judge me, I'm quite serious about this.
D'accord.
All right then, why not? Let's start by teaching you how to flirt with handsome men.
Ah
That can't possibly be where you want to start.
Nah, I was just kidding. I wish
Ouais,
I
c'est
knew
bien
how
ce
to
qui me
flirt with
semblait.
handsome men. Instead, let's teach you to lighten up.
Ah, understood.
Je réitère, hein, mais j'aime beaucoup sa tenue.
Hey.
We don't need to have this conversation.
You don't know what I was going to say.
Something about our vastly different approaches to life.
Fine then. We don't need to talk about it.
Ok.
Actually,
Really,
sorry, you go first.
I was gonna say I'd hear you out.
Okay, let's talk about it. I
Oui.
will be faithful to Lady
Jusque-là.
Rhea until I die.
Ça
If I
va?
had to choose between you and her, I would choose her every time. I assume that disqualifies me from being your partner.
Between you and Rhea, I'd choose you. But between you and me, I'd choose me. That probably disqualifies me from being your partner, too.
Well, no. I'm quite fond of being alive. I don't intend to sacrifice my life either. If it came down to you or me, I'd choose...
What's wrong?
Nothing. You're not like the rest of the knights. Maybe someday you'll have to take a path that diverges from ours. What if we went to war with your country?
Encore? Oh, mais c'est du foreshadowing, ça je
It
reconnais.
is a possibility.
Maybe I shouldn't be thinking like that.
The future is one of the great mysteries of
Moi je le dis, c'est du
We can worry
foreshadowing
about
de
it when
zinzin.
time
Hein.
comes. But until our paths diverge, you're my partner.
Ils en parlent dans tous les
And
supports.
I couldn't ask for a
T'imagines,
better
ton
one.
pays rentre en guerre contre le
You got
bien,
that right.
qu'est-ce que tu fais
I'm the best there is.
8 fois. Bah écoute, je verrai comment je me
What's wrong,
démerde.
Father? I didn't expect you to summon me.
I carved
Bah
this
Lorenz,
on
on
wood.
verra. Moi je pense que je vais
I
avoir du
wish
mal
for you
avec
to take it.
Ignatz.
A wooden doll. You used to make these for me when I was
Regarde
a
la petite
child.
poupée. On dirait
I
Annette
still
en
do
plus.
it when the mood strikes.
It's so cute. It's... Wait. No. What do you want from me?
I want nothing. I was carving and I thought of you. I remembered how happy
Lorenz,
you
je vais
were
voir
as
un
a
petit
child
peu.
when I handed one of these dolls to you.
I was back then, but I'm not a child anymore. It's too late for this now, Father. It doesn't make me happy anymore.
Annette,
I was so lonely after you left. I was always alone. I didn't know where you were or who to turn to for comfort.
Enfin voilà quoi.
All I
Chez
could
les
do was
rouges,
look at the dolls you carved for me and remember you.
je pense que Caspar, j'aime juste pas sa gueule, mais sinon ça
if you
ira.
don't need it, you can throw
Ferdinand,
it
j'aime pas
away.
sa gueule non plus.
It is all the same in the end. I am sorry.
Bernadette, je vais être très content par contre.
I should have given more thought to my actions.
Father, wait! No, this won't do at all. It would be better to throw this doll away.
Putain, compliqué père-fille.
You are too cruel, Father. Of course I could never throw it away.
You're wrong.
Ah, il part un peu.
It's not like that, Glenn. I swear it. Any love I once had for my stepsister has been tossed aside. Only hatred remains. If I could tear that woman to shreds right this very moment, I would. I don't care if she's the Emperor. It's no different than killing anyone else. So I beg you, all of you, do not worry about my resolve. Please, Father, and you too, stepmother, do not gaze at me with that look in your eyes. I will bring you her head soon, and when I do, you may finally rest in peace. I know it. Yes, I know it.
Ouais. Tout va bien. Tout va bien.
What do you want? I see. We should make haste and prepare to move out at once.
Je dois la supprimer.
I must kill her as soon as possible.
On doit se préparer.
We have no time to leisurely set up camp. If I must, I will go by myself.
Ah, ici, dit-il avec un seul œil.
We must prepare a counterattack at once. The Imperial Army has caught wind of our position. It would seem they were patrolling this place after all.
The Imperial Army, is it? Well, well.
Well, well.
Your Highness, I ask that you please refrain from reckless behavior in battle.
It would seem the report that the Knights of Syros have returned was accurate.
Je t'avais pas cassé la gueule, toi?
This is going to take some effort.
Brother, I heard a rumor that there is a vicious murderer among our enemies.
Well, who knows if there's any truth to it? Though I admit we have lost some soldiers recently. Whether he's among them or not, taking on the Knights of Syros is extremely dangerous. You're not ready for the front lines, Fleisch. Stay in the back and support us from there. Understood?
No, I want to stay with you. I have to.
Je vais faire ça quand même. Bien, je prends toute l'XP, hein. Mais.
Fine. I trust you, brother.
Oh non.
Please.
Soit je tue son frère.
All units, prepare to
Soit je tue elle et c'est pire.
At the monastery at Garreg Mach, the Kingdom Army proceeds to bolster its forces, but the Empire is already one step ahead. An Imperial vanguard, led by General Randolph, has deduced the location of the Kingdom Army and now advances with the aim of toppling Garreg Mach for a second time.
The Knights of Syros are a powerful enemy. We have more soldiers. We'll take them down all at once.
There are more
Non, Randolph.
Attacking with fire would prove most useful here.
Report. The enemy has entered the periphery of Garreg Mach.
If they reach the interior, we won't be able to protect the monastery. Drive them back.
Oh, c'est ici. Bon, carré. Ah, c'est là aussi. Ok. Allez.
No, this can't end here.
Ah, Flèche, désolé, mais je suis orpheline maintenant.
For Bridget, I find strength to carry on.
Capture him.
Ah, capture.
A terrible battle. Yet Garreg Mach still stands. Your Highness?
I have family waiting for me. Please, I can't die here.
A beast of your depravity prattling on about family? How amusing.
As though you could understand such a thing as love? You heartless monster!
You are a monster too, General.
You have just yet to realize it. A monster who thinks he's a man. Despicable. As a general, you must have killed countless souls without a shred of mercy. Do you still remember the sound of them begging, just as you're begging now? Or now that your life is at its end, will you hold to the lie that your hands are not stained red with blood? This is war. I did what I had to for the Empire, for the people, for my family. So, you are piling up corpses for the people and your family. And I am doing the same for the salvation of the dead. After all is said and done, we are both murderers, both stained, both monsters. You're wrong. Am I? I can smell the rotting flesh upon your hands even now, General. Enough! That's enough! I won't kill you right away, my fellow monster. Unless you object to watching your friends die. One by one. If so, I will do you the service of removing your eyes first, so that... Please! Please!
Attends, c'est nous ou c'est lui?
What is the meaning of this?
C'est nous.
A grievous error, Professor. If you do not approve of what I have become, then kill me. If you insist that you cannot, then I will continue to use you and your friends until the flesh falls from your bones.
Ah.
We managed to repel the Imperial army.
D'accord.
Ouais,
sympa, Dimitri.
I anticipate a second and third wave of attack. With our current forces, we'll have our hands full just defending.
It's a miracle we managed to repel the Imperial army with the few units and resources we do have.
We should probably contact Rodrigue right away to request backup.
Rodrigue is in a difficult
Je pensais
position.
qu'il allait
He
partir.
has suffered invasions by the dukedom. But there are troops who share in our cause, gathering in the heart of Fraldaria's territory. If we can arrange for them to join us, our forces will grow considerably.
Fraldarius. So, Rodrigue is still alive, is he? So you did.
I wonder what my old man will say when he sees you now. That spectacle alone will be worth the trip.
I've already sent word with our fastest messenger, informing Rodrigue that His Highness is alive. But we would do well to send another, in case anything happens to the first. With the current state of things, we'll be completely helpless without his support. Your Highness, may I ask what your next plan of attack is? Should we dispatch our troops to the Kingdom capital, or to the Imperial capital?
We will take the Imperial capital. There, I will kill her. We end the war and chase away the lingering regrets of the dead. Nothing could be more to the point.
That may be true, but don't forget that your people need our help right now.
Your Highness, I hate them too. But the citizens of Ferdiad have long awaited your return.
D'abord, on récupère le royaume, ensuite on envahit. C'est comme ça qu'on fait. Dans Fire Emblem en tout cas.
Defeating Edelgard would put an end to the war. That would benefit the kingdom as well.
We still need to look for Lady Rhea. So I agree that we should get to Enbar as fast as possible.
Professor, whatever you decide, we shall follow.
Vas-y, nique-moi, je fais ça.
You were entrusted with leading the church. One would think the logical step is to march to Enbar. If Lady Rhea is being held prisoner in the Empire, we don't have time to waste taking back Ferdiad. Can you deny it?
Either way, we are in need of numbers. It is essential that we secure backup.
Ok. Et c'est la fin du chapitre du coup, parce que là après ça va commencer le suivant, chapitre terminé, ouais voilà. Et on va pouvoir s'arrêter là du coup. Putain, il est moins de minuit. Mais ça tombe bien parce que demain je me lève tôt. Donc
Part 2.